So I'll tell you guys straight up that I do my absolute best to make sure that I bring you guys the best content, to make sure that my content is up to date and is relevant for where you guys are currently in your journey and what's currently happening. For me personally, I feel like this is the channel for studying advice, but I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Even in my studies, I've made a lot of mistakes when I was doing both my undergrad and my postgrad as well. I've made a ton of mistakes, and to this day, I continue making mistakes. I don't think there's anyone in this world who's perfect, who never makes mistakes. No chance, guys. We're human. We're bound to make a few mistakes here and there, and that's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But where the problem comes in is you not learning from your mistakes so that you don't do it again. So in this episode, I'm just gonna chat about and break down, the key to actually learning from your mistakes, both tests, exams, and any other mistake that you make in university. So I think there are different ways to learn. There's so many different ways. You can study the material, you can practice the material, you can apply, but one of the most effective ways to learn is from your failures, from your mistakes, from your errors, wherever you make them. Because usually these are the hardest learned lessons. And I'll give you guys an example for it. Let's say you write a test, you have an expectation that you're going to be getting a 60-70% easy. Then you come out with a 15%. That's a personal scenario, that one. It's a very real one. But let's say that happens. This is where you're going to be learning your best, because when it gets tied to your marks, when you're getting a low mark, when there's a chance of you not passing a module, when there's a lot at stake, that's when you're going to internalize something the best. Because the feedback has told you that you are not doing well and you will not pass if you do not change X, Y, and Z. And that right there is the best opportunity for you to learn. So I always say, guys, when you write a test, when you write an assessment, things don't go well, go back to that assessment, go back to that test, and actually understand where you went wrong and why. And I'm going to give you guys a practical template to use in how to go about doing that. So first up, I'd say go through each and every single question, and I'd even encourage you to do this for the questions that you did get right, because it's also important to understand what you are doing right. That's super important. So go through each question, reread the question, and before you read your response, first just take some time to think about how you would have responded today as you are now, what you would have said, how you would have gone about attacking this question. If you have the time, even redo the question. If you don't, that's also okay. Do this, and if possible, just make rough notes. If you're not going to redo the question, make rough notes of what you would have done today. And then go back to your answer script, what you wrote down on the day. Read that thorough and try and understand your frame of mind back then. Were you perhaps a bit stressed, or did you have clarity on the work? Understand your frame of mind and what you were thinking, and look at the mark that you got and make that a percentage so that you understand if you passed or failed that specific question. This is very important, because when you do this breakdown of each and every single question in your assessment, then you understand that in the greater scheme of things, maybe you failed, but this area you passed, this area you didn't pass, this area you almost passed. Now you have an understanding of where your strong areas are, your medium areas, and your weaker areas are. So make sure that you internalize that mark, make that percentage so you understand what went wrong, and then take out the memo. Take out the memo and read the memo in great detail. Make notes where applicable, and look at how they approached the question. Look at the understanding they had of the question, the concepts they used, the keywords they used. Understand the marking. Because if you don't understand how your lecturers or your markers are marking your work, then how are you going to give and produce the right answers? So understand the reasoning behind the marking, why they mark the way they do, what they look for when they mark, the steps that they want to see. Whether it's a calculation, whether it's theory, whether it's an essay, you need to know what your markers are looking for so that in the next assessment, you're going to give them exactly what they want. So go through that process, do that for every single question. And it's going to take some time. It's not going to be a 1 hour process. It's going to take time. But I need you guys to take your time with this process, because the better you do this process, the better you do it for each and every single assessment. And once again, I encourage you guys to do it whether you passed or failed the assessment. If you do it for every assessment, it's very difficult for me to see how you're not going to pass the module, because you're effectively learning from your mistakes. And obviously after this, you're going to continue studying, whether it's to your next semester test or to your exam or your next year test. But you're going to have this in the back of your mind, that this is where I messed up. This is my mistakes. This is what I shouldn't do. This is what I should do. This is how I should now approach studying. Now you have a different perspective, or an improved perspective, let me rather say, on how to approach studying, how to approach your work, and where to focus and how to focus. So apply this, and the title of this is literally learning from your past mistakes, tests, and exams. So when I say mistakes as well, during the semester, a lot of mistakes are made. Whether you're just inconsistent, whether you're spending too much time with your friends, you procrastinate a lot, or whatever the case may be. But you need to understand the mistakes that you've made, or you are making frequently. And this requires you to be a bit honest with yourself. Because as humans, it's very easy for us to develop a false perception of ourselves, of who we are, and of how we are performing. So you just need that bit of honesty and understanding that, hey, look, obviously I'm not perfect, but this is what I'm doing wrong. Honestly speaking, I can say I am doing this, and this wrong. That is my problems. Those are where my problem areas are, and I need to improve on this, and that. So frequent evaluation of how you're doing, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong is very important, because that helps you just get that necessary frame of mind in terms of where you need to improve and what you're doing well that you need to continue doing, so that of course you can apply this along with you learning from your tests and exams in order to produce the best result possible. There's so many small things that go into passing a module, passing a year, passing exams. There's so many different components. There's so much, and that's why I literally have a whole channel on it. That's why I'm always posting content in the WhatsApp community, because there's so many different components, and sometimes it's these small things that we as students end up missing that lead to us perhaps not performing as well as we can, perhaps not reaching the marks that we can, perhaps not reaching our academic goals. And most of the time we're not aware of these things. So it's important for you to just understand all these small things, be aware of all these things, and just apply, frequently test and review as well. Understand what's going well, what's not going well. So yeah guys, I hope this today has provided you with a bit of value. I hope now when you guys write your semester tests or your exams or your year test, even your class test as well, whatever assessments you write, I hope you guys go through them in this detail. I hope you guys make sure that you have an understanding of where you're going wrong, where you're going right, note it down, and just go on this consistent and constant journey of self-improvement and self-betterment, so that at the end of your term in university, you come out with that degree or those degrees and make a better life for yourself. If you found value in this video, guys, please do just leave a like down there. If you're not subscribed to the channel but you're watching my content, please do me a favor, guys. Just subscribe. And as always, guys, leave a comment for me. Let me know what you found most impactful in this video, and let me know in future what you guys want me to chat about. But yeah guys, it's been me, Sifiso Mkhize, with another episode. Until the next one, let's continue on our journey in creating a better world.